Alright, what's up guys? In today's video, we will be discussing why looks maxing is stupid. So for those of you who don't know, looks maxing is essentially doing whatever it takes to optimize your looks. Um, People do this because A, they want more attention from women, and B, because being better looking greatly improves your outcomes in life in effectively all aspects. And while that is true, the majority of people get into looks maxing because they're not good looking and they want to get girls. That's pretty much my observation. All right. So looks maxing, there's hard maxing versus soft maxing. Soft maxing is when you do things that are non-surgical and don't involve steroids to improve your looks. This includes like basic grooming, losing body fat, building muscle, skincare, getting a good haircut, learning how to dress, facial grooming. And hard maxing is basically surgery to extend your jaw, just plastic surgery, taking anabolic steroids. So that's hard maxing versus soft maxing. Now, why looks maxing is stupid is because a lot of TikTokers and YouTubers and streamers advocate for hard maxing, and that's you know surgical means to improve your looks. Um, so what the problem is though, there are people, they're just like teenagers who are still developing, right? Trying to improve their looks, but the problem is they haven't even maximized a fraction of their potential. So like there's this website called Looksmaxx.org, and it's pretty much filled with like high schoolers and people, anywhere from like 18 to 21 post high school, even older, who want to get surgery because they'll post pictures of themselves prior to utilizing their full potential, prior to optimizing soft maxing, and people will be like, "Oh, you're cooked. You need surgery. You need surgery. You need surgery." And so people are wanting to get double jaw surgery. People are wanting to get surgery to remove the bags from beneath their eyes. All this other nonsense before even maximizing a fraction of their potential. So people, especially a lot of these popular streamers, don't even advocate for soft maxing. But the thing is, soft maxing, if you soft max to your full potential, you could go from like a 4 to an 8 if you have good potential. You could even go from a 3 to a 9 if you have really good potential. So if you take a guy who's like out of shape, no muscle, poorly groomed, you give him 40 pounds of muscle, low body fat, a good haircut, learns how to dress, good facial grooming, he could go from like a 3 to a 9, assuming he had good genetics, right? The reason he was below average could have possibly been because he just wasn't taking care of himself. So a lot of these people who want to do either for hard maxing, want to do surgery, have no muscle, they have their body fat percentage is high, they don't have good haircuts, they don't take care of their skin, so they want the easy way out. That's the problem with this generation. This Generation Z, Generation Alpha, they're addicted to their phones and they don't understand the concept of delayed gratification, and they don't understand the reward that comes, the intrinsic reward that you obtain or procure rather from doing something very difficult. And so they all want instant results as a consequence of being on their phone all day, having no attention spans, and having no patience or discipline to do anything difficult. They want instant results, as opposed to literally just like getting a skincare routine, losing weight, spending years in the gym, building muscle, um, finding a good haircut that truly fits their face, learning how to properly groom, learning how to dress, um, learning which beard styles fit your face, um, you know, learning how to take care of your eyebrows or whatever. Just normal grooming, okay? And instead, they want the easy way out, which is hard maxing. And that's really, really stupid because I heard this Twitch streamer named Clavicular, and he was like, "Yeah, I don't lift weights, I just take steroids." Well, that's kind of stupid. One, you're on steroids and you don't lift weights, you're aging yourself, you're gonna look terrible later. Most people who do plastic surgery take steroids. They might look okay presently, but they will age terribly as they go on. Right? When you're 30 years old, you want people to think you're 22. You know, except when he's 30 years old, he'll probably look much older as a consequence of abusing steroids at like 19, 20 years old. Right? And so no, you don't want to take steroids. You don't need to. And also, he doesn't even lift weights while he's on steroids. Right? So that's a waste of steroids. Right? Like he's on steroids and he doesn't look good at all. My physique's better than his. Not only that, my physique is better than most people who are on steroids because A, they don't train properly, and B, they don't eat properly. Okay? So the point I'm trying to make is Looks maxing is stupid because it advocates for hard maxing as a consequence of these new generation of children or teenagers having no attention span and having no patience and not understanding the idea of delayed gratification. All you literally have to do is lose weight. If you want to get better looking, all you have to do is lose weight, build muscle, get clear skin, find a haircut that suits you, learn how to groom, learn how to dress. That's literally all you have to do, okay? Now, there are some people who can still do all this, right? And they still won't look good as a consequence of their facial structure. But realistically, those are like people who are like objectively ones and twos out of 10. You're most likely not a 1 or a 2 out of 10, right? You most likely just haven't utilized your full potential, right? So ultimately, it's just a bunch of insecure guys who, and also you can just evaluate, right? Like this clavicular guy and other popular Looksmaxxers, they've gotten substantially better looking, but they're still not good with women because their social skills are terrible, right? Like if you watch any clavicular stream and watch him try to pick up women, he's socially retarded. Okay, he's extremely awkward and he's stiff and he's uncomfortable and cringeworthy to watch when he's trying to pick up women because he lacks social skills. He's literally socially retarded. He's very socially incompetent. And a lot of other Looksmaxxers, like Nocturnal Kent, Androgenic, they're very awkward when they're around women because they're socially retarded, presumably as a consequence of growing up behind a screen, focused on looks maxing instead of playing sports or socializing with their classmates face to face, right? And so like a lot of these people do looks maxing to get more attention from women, but even if they get really good looking like clavicular, they won't have the social skills to be able to, you know, uh, retain women's attraction once women are interested in them because they look better, right? So that's why I think looks maxing is stupid. If you're gonna looks max, all you need to do is soft max and also social skills max. Increase your social skills, all right? Learn how to not be awkward. Learn how to not be socially retarded. And above all, don't be weird. Because a lot of these Twitch streamers who try to pick up on women, they might say they're joking and trolling, but they're not. When you watch enough, you see enough content, you realize that's who they really are. You realize that they're actually weird and socially retarded. And the reason it's cringeworthy to watch is because it's frankly extremely weird and socially retarded. Okay, and if you don't think it's socially retarded, I'm afraid that means that you are socially retarded, and you need to get off the internet and go touch grass and talk to someone in person immediately. All right, if you guys enjoyed this video, like and subscribe. I offer one-on-one coaching if you're interested. How to bodybuild, how to get jacked, how to run, how to become a hybrid. Links in bio. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace.